Did you get it? Is it on?
Welcome to another episode of Taking Over the World.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh God, what's up, buddy?
Wow, listen.
So let's just start. We're just gonna start off.
There's
Hot.
some big questions today. Okay.
Hot.
You've got a trivia one right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Okay, let's do it.
What do you know about Sparky?
I know that allegedly, this is alleged.
Okay.
I definitely. I challenged him to a push-up contest in the stands during a football game while I was attending ASU. Yes.
Did you win?
I don't.
No, you didn't.
I don't even really remember. I don't even think he cared.
No.
Or she cared for all I know. What do I know?
But do you know you know who drew Sparky? The original Sparky.
Oh, do I know? Frank Lloyd Wright.
No.
He's a famous architect.
I know,
and,
but no.
You know, he's got some stuff ties to Arizona. So
No, but
I'm just going with it. Walt Disney.
Close.
Oh.
It was one of the guys that drew for Walt Disney. And if you look at Sparky with his smile, and you put Walt Disney next to him smiling, there's a similarity. And it's because he got fired, so he wanted,
So
Sparky
he got
to be
fired from Disney and turned Walt into Sparky?
Yes.
Huh. That seems like an intriguing
Well,
thought
that's
process to go
that's
through.
what happened with Shrek, the guy who made the theater the studio for Shrek. He started a studio. He wanted to do it when he was with Disney, and Disney told him no. So he was like, "Fine, I'm going to do it on my own." And then his first movie was mocking Disney with Shrek. Because everybody's in Shrek that would be in Disney, in a Disney movie.
That's
You
news
have not
to me.
seen Shrek?
Well, I have seen Shrek.
The princesses were there.
Yes.
Lord
Cameron
Farquaad.
Diaz. Oh, you didn't know I knew that. Eddie Murphy. Mike Meyer.
We saw
Okay.
a movie the other day, and I was watching it with the kids on Mother's Day. I think the name of the movie was Home. Was it Home?
Home.
It was Home. And the mother of the character, because it was cartoons, she came out. She said one word, and I was like, I have a bad habit of people that on social media are famous people. I call them by their one name. I don't say their full name.
Okay.
So like Mercy and the kids always say that I act like they're my friends.
Maybe they are.
So this voice came on. I'm like, oh, that's Jennifer. And then my son's like, what Jennifer? I'm like, Jennifer Lopez, duh. He's like, and then everybody's like, Jennifer Gardner. There's a lot of Jennifers out here, dude. Like,
Why didn't she go with J-Lo?
I don't know why they want to go with somebody else that's not J-Lo.
Dang.
I think they did it on purpose.
Speaking of movies and J-Lo,
Okay.
that just went full. This is how my brain works. I just went full circle.
Full circle.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
Why?
Because I just fall asleep.
Because you're a squirrel?
I'm a squirrel. I got squirrel syndrome.
Okay.
And I'm just like people watching in the movie theater. Like every now and then I'll get into one. But I am kind of pumped. This whole J-Lo, then I thought all of a sudden Ben Affleck popped in my head. Then I realized I just saw him doing something on a reel or something. And then I realized he's coming out with, or it's already out, The Accountant too?
Yes.
I think I liked The Accountant, so I think I'm going to get on board with that one.
Well, I know that there's a line dance scene, and he's not very coordinated. And the director asked him throughout the filming of the movie, they were like, "Hey, are you practicing this?"
And he said,
he's like, "Yes, I'm practicing. Yes." And then the guy that plays his brother in the movie, I forgot what his name is.
"Oh yeah."
But he said it was almost like when they were on set and recording that. He's like, it's almost like you're with your brother, and you're heckling him and you're messing with him.
Interesting.
While you're doing that, yeah. So
Interesting.
it was a good time.
Okay.
Good time had by all.
On Mother's Day? Or just in the movie?
Just in the movie.
Everything?
Yeah, not on Mother's Day.
Mother's Day was not a good time.
No, Mother's Day was great for us.
Nice.
I made breakfast at home. I made dinner at home.
What was the
with the
breakfast? What's the go-to breakfast on Mother's Day?
It was The kids had burritos, breakfast burritos.
Breakfast burritos.
Those are like my go-to. The kids love those.
Did you make them?
Of course I did.
Oh, okay.
And then for dinner we had, this is what we had for dinner. Bitén panizado, arroz y frijoles negros.
Levantaria. Got it. That's what it gets.
Breaded steak.
Breaded steak.
Black beans and white rice. That was dinner with avocado.
Okay, you guys and your avocado.
Avocado is the best thing.
I mean, it's like a condiment. You guys treat avocado like a condiment.
Well, we have to. We're Hispanic.
I do like
Avocados from Mexico, even though we're not Mexican.
I do like avocado though. I do like avocado.
You know, you're part Mexican, so avocados from Mexico.
That works. It plays. Turns out it checks out.
It checks out.
So you're off to Dallas today.
Today, flying to Big Texas.
Yeah. How do you feel about this trip?
It's going to be an interesting trip.
Okay.
Because number one, it's the first trip I've taken in a long time without Mercy. And it's the first business trip I've taken in this new role that I'm in.
Okay.
And I'm going with the owner and her right hand. So.
What about the left hand? You see what I did there? See what I did there? Because I probably should take both of them.
Yeah.
Nailed it. You're welcome. Oh, man.
Oh, God. This is going to be a long day.
Listen. I was on my... Okay, so you've kind of moved up front for a little bit. Okay?
Yes.
And we have got a pretty good size office. And now, I'm a little lonely and I get distracted and I got squirrel syndrome in there.
And you have your steps in.
And you had the under your desk flat treadmill thing for a while that you were hitting up. And obviously now it's just been sitting up there. And like 2 weeks, I'm staring at this thing. I'm like, I haven't been going to the gym. And last week you called me out on it. I was like, you know what? There's no reason I shouldn't just put this thing right there. Besides the fact that it's not mine, right? I'm like, I don't want to just take somebody's stuff and start using it. But today I had my meeting. I'm like, I'm gonna put this thing down and go for a little walk. One person's like, oh, did you get a walker thing? Like a walker, like I needed a walker. And I was like, yeah, it's Ed's. I was like, I tried to give it a whirl today. During the meeting, I got about 2,000 steps in.
Did you fall?
Here's the kicker. Almost 3 times. Almost 3 times. And I tried to play it off. And so I got to text Sutter later, and I got to be like, hey, bro. For
did
real.
he call you out?
No. But I'm gonna be like, hey, did it look like I almost fell? Because the way that I have, so with the 2 screens, right? My screens are here.
Right.
So I was in the center, and the treadmill was in the center. But my camera's on this screen that's kind of pointed this way. So as I'm walking straight like this, I'm kind of looking this way. And so there was a couple of times where I started to kind of go, and I was like, hey. And there's a couple of times I grabbed this side and I was like, oh, wait.
Well, see, what happened
was I should have just fallen. It would have been great content.
Well, what happened?
I should have just taken one for the team. See what they said. That would have been awesome. Could you imagine? We're in the middle of our BNI meeting. And I just go down, and then all of a sudden you just see the head pop back up.
Was your boy on there?
Which one? Jordan? No, he wasn't there today.
Because it would have been perfect if Sutter and Jordan would have both been on that, and you would have fallen. Because they would have, killed you.
Dude, awesome. It would have been
you would have not lived that down ever. But
I think I would have just owned it. I would have taken it straight
Speaking of own it,
okay,
they never told us who won in tic-tac-toe.
Oh, between the Young brothers?
The Young brothers.
I don't know.
No one ever said who won.
Maybe it's a Cats game. Maybe that's why.
But I think they should at least say it.
Do you ever, when you guys go to restaurants, you guys
I do.
You do? Obviously now we still got some younger kids, and so, we'll use the tic-tac-toe on the kids' menus and stuff.
Right.
Do you ever let the kids win?
Never.
Me neither.
I don't let them win in checkers. I don't let them win in anything. Nothing. You know why? Because they turn 2021.
And they get mad when they don't win.
No, and then they tell you, hey, you want to try a game that they're playing online that they play 75 hours a day on? And
there's not even that many hours in a day.
It doesn't matter, but that's how long they play. and then you get in then you start playing that game,
and now you're hooked,
and you suck, and they're like, oh, you suck. So nice. When they're young, you have to beat them at every game.
Yeah.
So when they start beating you at games, they understand the pain of losing.
I just beat them because I want them to know that I'm still better than them. That's all. I just want to prove a point.
Yours is just simple.
Yeah,
no,
mine is I'm better at this game than you are.
Mine is strategic. I want to make sure that they understand that, eventually they will be able to beat me at games.
That's fair.
Yeah. See, like, I always have to make sure, like, I literally, we have a Miss Pac-Man in our loft. Mm-hmm. And I literally have to turn it on at least once every couple days to make sure none of these little rat bastards beat my high score. Yeah.
But how do you do it? If you unplug it, does it reset?
I don't unplug it. I just turn it on and off, and it stays.
If you unplug it, does it reset?
It may. I don't know, but I'm not going to unplug it.
You're going to find out. I'm definitely going over to your house and unplugging that thing.
I will choke your ass. I will choke you if you unplug my thing and then ends up resetting.
I did do that with a game. It wasn't a high score.
Is that when you lost?
No.
I can totally see you.
Just flip the board over.
I can totally
get out of here. This game's baloney.
I can totally see you playing with your brother on a video game and he wins and you unplugging the game.
I can see
you could totally would do that.
I could totally see myself doing that. I froze. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you have to blow the cartridge. Blow the cartridge.
Just going old school Nintendo style.
There you go.
Yeah. We did talk about that the other day, and I find that interesting is
how you blow cartridges? Like,
no.
What's so interesting about that?
Easy. Braxton came downstairs. He's like, because we were like getting on there playing video games a lot, and they just play like the same too. Like a lot of Beckham plays like MLB The Show, and they get to build characters, and you take them through like high school, college, into the pros, whatever. But it does get like kind of addicting. Like I was doing one with Brooklyn the other, like I think Andy was gone and when I was helping Brooklyn, all three of them had it, right? Because nowadays you got to buy three of them because you got to have one per gaming console. So it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like of the same game. Because Braxton was playing one on his. Well, then Beckham needed one on his Xbox. You can't like use the same one because they're all downloaded now. So there's like 3 versions of the same damn game in our house, which is wild.
Oh, in my house, they'd have to wait.
Yeah. Well, but then Braxton's like, we should just, I was like, you know what, I'll take it to the office. I was like, I've seen plenty of people, like while you're on the phone or something.
Play video games?
Yeah, I was like, that's a slippery slope though. Because it starts by like, like.
That's a shout out to Keith Jones.
Yeah, right? Right? But the other guy used to do it that was down here. He used to play football all the time. Mad Reggie did.
Did he really?
Oh, all the time. And I was like, oh yeah, dude, like I could see like that. Because I like sport. Like I don't play all the other, but I could see like playing sports and how it's fun, like, and going through it. But like while you're on the phone, just letting it go. But then it's like, I could see how it's a slippery slope because next thing you know, you're just playing and you haven't had the phone going. So just half your day's gone.
Just imagine if you're on a dialer.
Yes.
And you're playing against a computer.
And it picks up.
And the computer ends up like scoring a touchdown. You motherfucker!
Yeah, right. Was it
somebody answers the phone?
Listen. Listen, I get it. I think
that's why I couldn't play.
It's a slippery slope.
Because I'd be screaming at the console.
Yeah.
So what else you got going on?
Well, I got a new buyer. Well, not a new buyer. Buyer back in town. We're looking at some properties.
Hey, what? Now you know what? This really shouldn't be on the air, but you know what? Fuck it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Oh god.
What's that buyer that was looking for in the 1.2 range or 1.1 range?
Yep.
I got a house with a pool, half acre.
Where?
With a basketball court.
Where?
Centennial.
Okay. News we should have brought earlier to my attention. I like it.
That was a listing that I talked to the guy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Let's send it to him. I just talked about him yesterday, too. The one guy that I'm showing.
I'm manifesting this guy.
The one guy this is the same guy that I showed like Park House 2 and some stuff like that. He has a buddy. He knows all three. Like my buddy who referred me, both of them, they all grew up together. So we were just talking about him yesterday.
Yeah. No, but that was the one, that was the listing that I told you that I was in the hallway and I ran into the guy that I know. That's a flipper. And he's like, hey, I know you. I'm like, hey, I know you too. And we started talking, whatever, and then he has a listing that's not selling. And he's going to give me an opportunity to list it.
We got to get that over to him before it goes back on the market.
It's not. I'm going to send him the information today. I'm going to call him, actually, and tell him, hey, I know exactly where it needs to be priced to get sold. I think we're going to probably price it at a decent price.
Hey, turns out I might have a guy for you.
Let's get it sold.
Yeah.
That's what we do best.
Yeah, we do.
We take care of clients and we get stuff sold. We don't just list stuff, we get it sold.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that?
We get it sold. Coffee's closer. Did you drink coffee?
I
drink coffee.
Did you drink some today? Are you loaded up, buddy? Because you got squirrel syndrome right now. You have gone squirrel.
I think it's a pre-workout still like in the system.
Oh, dude.
And I get legs today, so.
Do you ever dry scoop that stuff?
Never.
I heard like this is what like the new hotness is. Or like I see people doing it. I see like some of these kids doing it.
I see people on TikTok. They get a scoop, they pop it in their mouth. Then they take a swig of water, they shake their head, and then just swallow it.
Listen, I'm gonna come clean.
Why is she laughing at me? That's what they do.
Well, I think we can all know why we're laughing at you, but
they do. They take a dry scoop.
It's not built. It's not built for the air.
Take a swig, and then they swallow. Like.
Okay.
I give myself a headache doing that.
So I'm gonna come clean on something.
Oh God!
I haven't admitted.
I'll accept you the way you are.
I have not admitted this until right now.
Right.
So I saw this trend about the dry scooping going on.
Did you try it?
And I tried it.
No way.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's like
you are a follower, dude. You need to be a leader.
Sometimes I like to try new stuff, right? Don't hate. Listen. Maybe there's a new way to take pre-workout. Maybe get you fired up. It's like maybe it gets into you. It lit my throat on fucking fire, and I thought I was gonna die. I think I got.
You gave yourself throat cancer.
I thought I had throat cancer. I thought I was going to the hospital. I went in for a scoop, right? And you know how big those scoopers are.
What pre-workout did you have?
I was using the no free ads. Bucked Pro, Bucked.
Did you use the
AF? Not the AF. Not the basic one that's like 200 milligrams or like 250 milligrams.
Oh no, you should have had the AF. That would have killed you.
And so I was like, hey, so I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm like, okay, it's pumped up. Like I'm gonna try this. Like it seems to be, like what all the cool young hipster cool kids are doing. Like I'm gonna get in there and do this, right? I get that scoop in, and I went from like 100% confidence so I could do it, and then I got that scoop, and I was like. This scoop looks bigger than what I took yesterday, right? Now I'm analyzing the scoop. I'm like, someone change out my scooper because that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So then I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna do it, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, maybe I should just like taste it first, right? Like see how bad it's gonna be. It's like no, it's like sticking your toe like in the pool. Like you just gotta go.
Gotta go.
So I start to go, and I didn't commit.
Halfway through?
I didn't commit, right? So about halfway through, I can feel the powder hit the back of my throat. And I obviously, I drop this, I cough this, I swallow, and then I went for like a bucket of water. I think I drank 3 gallons of water in the next 42 seconds, and then thought like I had burned a hole right through my esophagus or something. I thought for sure that's how it was going down. I thought for sure that was going to be the end of like the beginning of my genitive throat disease. I thought I was a goner. I thought it just burnt a hole right through the back of my throat. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody took one of those lighters, with the long stems that, know, like when people got smarter, they put the long, turn that baby on. Fire. Straight throat fire. That's what it tastes like. Straight throat fire.
I wish we would have had a video because there's like
throat fire.
So there's this trend now, right? Where there's this big war between on TikTok between Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, right? So Gen X, we're the best generation.
Okay.
We are where we are. It is what it is. But our generation is just built different, right? It's just a different generation. We drank from water hose. We were out all night. We were different. So there's a bunch of Gen X people that are just taking shots. Mm-hmm. Everclear, Jägermeister, can you take a shot and not make a face?
Okay.
So they take a shot and not make a face. And then there's these Gen Z guys that are like, oh, we could do anything Gen X could do. And they fill up a shot of like Everclear. This guy, oh my God. You've got to see this video.
Oh, I mean, we used to
this guy
that
took a
stuff
shot
on fire.
and he literally like then he comes back on the second video and he's like, okay, now I know what to expect, so it's gonna get better.
Didn't get any better?
No, it got worse.
Oh no, that's a bad luck. That's a bad luck.
Oh, but it's just so when you were talking about this story, that's what I was visioning. This guy, I'm gonna show you the video. This guy with the Everclear. I'm like, yep, that must have been Aaron thinking he was gonna die.
Oh, I thought it was a goner for a while.
Oh God!
And then it went straight into the brain, and then it's like
now you're like, when I get back from Dallas, I'm gonna have to try to dry scoop.
You gotta try it, dude.
I gotta do it because
I think you gotta film it. I'm gonna film myself do a full scoop. I'm gonna see what happens.
You did like half a powder.
I know, bro. It's such a wussy move. I'm going full commitment.
And mine is AF.
Okay. As long as it's not OF.
Hey-o.
I knew you were gonna say it. I got it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I will tell you though. This is you're heading out of town. I think we got we got about like 3 closings coming up this week. The next couple of days. What's that?
No.
I was gonna say, unless you just heard something I didn't.
Well, no. Just things are getting delayed and postponed.
I did see some of that. We got some new listings. So, see, and that's so... It's funny because the kids always give me a hard time, right? And as some of them are getting older, I think Braxton's starting to figure it out a little bit more. He used to always go, Dad, why do you always talk to the security guard? We had a security guard, not at our house. We're not that cool. But like when we went to our old baseball practice facility, it was on a school campus where they had a security guard.
Right.
Every time I'd stop, I'd shake his hand, say hi, blah, 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 ask him how his day was going. And they'd be like, Dad, you stop and talk to everybody. You even stop and talk to like this. I'm like, yeah, they got stories. They're cool people. Like, how do I like to know people. I like to talk to people. And now I think as they get a little older, like Braxton's starting to talk to more people and find out. He goes, hey, I get where you talk to people. You know, like there's some cool people out there, cool stories. You get to know people. And I'm like, yeah, and you never know, like, you know, what kind of connection you might have, or, you know, maybe they do something that you could use something. But I think it's cool is that I want to hear more about this story because you just happen to be headed down the hallway. You run into a guy. You went for a bathroom break and potentially came back with $2.6 million of sales?
Well, a listing at 1.3. 1.3.
Oh, I thought, was there a second one maybe too? Or maybe that's down the road?
No, he has another one he's going to list that's around 1.3 as well.
And I think that goes to like putting yourself out there. And like, that's what a lot of this industry is about. And that's what people fail to realize. It's like dry scooping, man. You just got to full commit to it. You got to build a relationship. You got to commit to it. It might suck at first. You might but you know what? You might have throat fire, but.
So it's funny that you say that because, right, in any profession, right? I don't care what whether you're we went to the doctor today with my daughter, whether it's a doctor's appointment or whatever, you do business with people you know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, today I was rushed because I was doing a bunch of different things, and Mercy wasn't feeling good, and she's like, hey, I'm just going to stay behind. Can you take Amanda to the doctor? I'm like, yeah, I'll take her. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing TRT, so I'm going to get my red blood cells checked anyways and stuff, so let me just go get it done. I'll go.
You had blood work done today too?
No, I'm going to get it done Friday.
Oh.
But when I was like, let me just get everything, let me go ask them to give me my stuff. Because, you know, if you're on TRT, red blood cells, if you have too high of a count, you got to donate blood. If not, you can have a heart attack. I don't want any of that going on.
I need to go check mine.
So I was like, okay, so I went with her and whatever. And there was actually a couple things that were funny. Number one, I think all of my kids, would you agree? We all have a really good relationship. And we talk about everything. Like, our house is very open about conversations. And the doctor's like, I got to ask you some personal questions. Can I ask you in front of your dad? Mm-hmm. And that's really a bad question to ask in front of your dad. Because what if she says no? Then the dad's going to be like, what kind of questions are you asking that you can't answer in front of me. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of putting the kid on the spot to be like, yeah, go ahead. Luckily, we have an open relationship, and she talks, and we talk to our kids all the time about everything. So she was like, yeah, she answered the questions or whatever. And then as I'm talking to the doctor, I'm like, doctor's like, hey, I want to send you for this, and I want to send you for that. And I'm like, you going to do it right here in the office, or we got to go somewhere? She's like, it's coming. Like, she's getting some diagnostic stuff. And I'm like, oh, really? When? She's like, we're looking for a building. I'm like, okay. What kind of building are you looking for?
You say that.
So I'm like, what kind of building are you looking for? And she's like, oh, about 4,000 square foot. I'm like, you know what? Somebody reached out to me yesterday for a building that they want me to sell a building that's right down the street from this one. And it's, unfortunately, she's looking for one story. There's a 2-story building. She's in a 2-story now. She wants to go to 1 story, so it won't work for her. But, again, it was just, I was there. I had a conversation. Yesterday, the guy with the listings was just a conversation walking down the hall. Like, we get all these conversations, right? So we build these relationships with people. And the whole point of the story was, it's what we do.
Right.
Right? We talk to people. We build relationships. Yesterday, I was talking to Zach from Willow Manor, and we were talking, and we were like, hey, I'm looking at, I want to build up the luxury division in this office while I'm in that position. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long I'll be there, but while I'm there, this is kind of my vision, this is what I want to do. And he's like, okay. I'm like, who do you know that I should talk to? And he rattled off 4 names.
Just like that.
He's like, yeah. He's like, call these 4 and tell them that, I think very highly of them, and that's why I gave you their information. I was like, oh, perfect. I will let them know. So I was talking to the person that had the position I'm in up front, because she came in today for a minute, and I was talking to her, and she's like, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I talked to Zach, and he gave me some referrals, some people to call that he'd like to talk to, and he thinks I should be in some type of business relationship with. So I was going to call them, and she's like, you know what? Because people trust you. So they know you're not going to be overbearing. They know you're not going to be like this.
Some sales pitchy.
Yeah. You're just going to have a conversation with people. So you've built that trust. She's like, I didn't have that trust in the position that I had because I was new. People didn't know me. But you have built that trust. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. But even with our clients, we build the trust that our clients trust us.
100%. 100%.
And they believe, they believe that we're out for their best interest. Even when we are not doing the deal. Because now I heard there's a deal that we didn't really have a part of that an agent was doing by themselves. And now it's going south.
Oh.
It's one of the agents on our team.
I could imagine.
Mercy was just telling me that.
But you know what? You talk about trust, but you go back to the story that we've talked about before. And you go to, I always say, like, this is my benchmark. When I know I can say this, I know I'm confident enough. I built enough trust. When you told a longtime client of yours that had, I don't even know, like 300,000-400,000 on the line, trust me, I got it.
Yeah.
And you were just like, you didn't even blink twice. I'd have been like hyperventilating. I'd be like, pass the bag. And I mean, yeah, it 100% worked out and everything was fine. But you were just like, how many people will trust you to make that decision? You'd be like, hey, trust me, I got this.
Well,
like
that same person has a license.
Yeah.
And he was working his own deal up in Reno.
Okay.
And we were talking about it, right? And it's a multifamily deal, and he's working up there. And I'm like, dude, I didn't ask him to sell. I didn't ask him to do anything. I'm like, dude, just send me the paperwork and the numbers. Let me look at everything. Just have a second set of eyes. Take a look at everything and just let you know what's going on. So I call him a couple days later after he sends me everything, and I'm like, hey, did you notice this on the lease? Did you notice this? Did you notice that? This is going on. He's like, that's not what they said. I'm like, this is what's in writing on the lease. Did you notice? He goes, no, I didn't catch any of that stuff. It was about 5 or 6 things. And I'm like, well, I'll send you an email with the stuff that I saw that's important on a lease. One of them was a $200,000 payback to the tenants upon moving out, which is a big deal. And he ends up saying, do me a favor, why don't you write up the LOI and you handle this and get paid to do it? Because on something I wasn't going to get paid for, all I did was like, let me just look it over for you. Right? You can make the money, use that as part of your down payment. I don't care. Like, I'm not in it just for the money. Right? I'm going to take care of clients too. Especially if you've done repeat business and repeat with me. I'm not gonna try to gouge you.
And well, okay, so this is interesting. So that just goes to speak to everything you do is about the professionalism, right? Like
Correct.
you have to in this industry, you've got to be careful, right? Especially if you're in the age of video content that we live in, you know, your perception, your first impression that you make on people, your reputation, you know, the things that you post, making sure, like we've had talks, the lyrics to songs that you post while you're captioning things, like you're done, you're offended,
right.
50% of your demographic right here that you work with, you just put them all on blast, like whether you meant to or not. Like that's how I take it. But it was funny in our networking group today in BNI, one of our commercial bankers, Jeremy, was presenting.
Okay.
And it was really interesting because he was speaking about professionalism, and he quoted somebody. So this guy that's been a client of the banks or whatever, he's got enough money and wants to invest in something. And I was like, oh, by the way, like, you know, let's talk. We're going to help you if you need anything. If you need like in secondary eyes and stuff. And so he wanted to get a $2 million commercial bank, you know, loan to go buy a warehouse or something and rent it back out and blah, blah, blah. He goes to this bank that he's had. The guy pulls out a very standard, probably boilerplate LOI type thing. And obviously it wasn't an LOI. It was more of their banking system or whatever. And he's like, this is the difference between professionalism and not professionalism. Like, the guy's crossing stuff up, handwriting notes on there, you know, like scratching things off. And then, you know, just like, and there's like 4 things on there when it comes to rate and some payment terms, some cash on hand terms that are handwritten on there, like not in a spot where it was even designed to be handwritten. And then Jeremy's like, this is what I pride myself on, you know, my professionalism. And I, you know, when he asked me for my, you know, kind of mock up on it, and I gave it to him, his rate was a little bit higher. Okay. The origination fee, tad bit higher. But at the end of the day, the guy went with Jeremy. And like Jeremy said, I think it's because, you know, he showed him like, this is the difference between professionalism and trusting somebody. You're going to get what you're paying for right here, right? You got a deal done on a napkin, you know, versus, you know, like the full printout and, you know, the crossing out. And so now you go into this stuff is like whoever's helping him there is not looking at things, and you're just providing that sense of trust and value of like, hey, let me just look at it. Now he's like, you know what? I would rather pay a little extra or pay for something to have it know that it's done right.
That's the thing is, but when they understand that your intent is not to take the deal away, because it wasn't my intent. My intent was, hey, let me just get another set of eyes to look at what you're looking at to make sure we're looking at the right stuff. And then through the process, we find out that what we're looking at really isn't what we're looking at. You know, they told me it was a triple net lease. And it's not a triple net lease. Yikes. It's more of a gross modified. Ooh. And the guy's
maybe we need to talk about those next week.
The guy's trying to pitch it to me as it's really like a triple net. I've never heard of a triple net, but whatever. Because they try to pitch it a different way, right? And then I'm like, well, there's a $200,000 deposit that we have to pay back. And on the lease, they're saying that there's an $8,000 additional payment that needs to be made every month that's not being made. Like, what is kind of going on with all that stuff? Oh, no, let me. Like, okay. I'm like, let me explain something to you. We just closed on 88 units a year ago. And because there was no leases, I made sure we got estoppels on everything, which is what a professional does. I'm protecting my client. So we get estoppels. We got the estoppels. 99% of the tenants were Spanish. So we asked for all the estoppels to be translated into Spanish so that everybody could sign it. So now we have signed estoppels with them saying there is no deposits on them. And now you have tenants a year later moving out saying, hey, I want my deposit back.
Sorry.
We're like, sorry, we got it signed. You signed it yourself saying there was no deposit, so we're good. But it's that thing, like we protect our clients, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing with him is, let me just look at it.
Real estate is not the spot where you want to have the gray area.
No. Everything has to be black and white.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I'm on my way to Dallas.
See
you
ya.
Have fun. Here, holding on the fort.
I'm gonna go dry scoop some dry.
I'm gonna do it on Friday when I get back.
Go hit the walking treadmill. See if I can.
Oh, I can't do it on Friday. Saturday I'll do it.
Oh, I can't.
Friday I have blood work, so I can't do it. I'm gonna videotape it.
You're gonna have fire throat.
I am not gonna have fire
sure.
throat.
Amanda,
I'm Gen X.
Keep me in the loop.
I'm Gen X. We don't roll that way.
You're gonna have throat fire.
I don't even think the new Gen Z does that. You're a millennial, aren't you? What are you? You're a millennial.
Freaking awesome.
He's a millennial. All right, we're out.